Veteran real estate agents, I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons why your inbox is dry because you're putting out content, but nobody is contacting you. I'm going to start from number 5. Number 5, you know I'm going in strong because you're copying other agents. Other agents are not marketers. So now you're probably following other agents that are doing trends on social media. That's not the way that you want to go as far as when you're trying to attract veteran home buyers. Veteran home buyers have problems that you want to bring to the market so that you can solve them, so that you could bring in a collective group of veterans that are looking to buy a home because you're educating them on the process. For an example, if you come onto social media selling a home, but the veteran is looking at your social media, but they're looking at you selling that home, but they know that they have like a low credit score or they're not familiar with the home buying process, they're not going to ask you no questions. They're not. They're just not going to ask you no questions. But if you come onto social media answering the questions that they may have into their head instead of selling them a home, then the veteran is going to be like locked in and be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I do have a 520 credit score, and this piece of content that this agent made told me I may be possible to buy a home with that 520 credit score. Now you might have a better chance of them contacting you. You see what I'm saying? So never try to follow the trends or follow other agents because that's not the way to go. You need to come onto social media with a strategy so that you can start targeting those veterans and get down to how to market to them. 4th reason is you don't teach nothing on social media. Why should you be teaching, right? Why should you try to teach someone to buy a home? Because if you teach someone how to buy a home, then they'll be educated on how the process goes. Now you're probably getting a bunch of buyers right now that are not qualified. And you know why they're not qualified? Because they're not educated. Because if you start educating a group of veterans out there online, now you will get better quality leads because they understand the process. Let's say you make 90 days worth of educational content towards the veterans. Make sure you talking to the veterans in your content. The algorithm is going to bring those veterans to you. So make sure that you're educating. You want to educate. Like, you have to think about every time somebody tries to sell you something, what do? Run away, right? That's the same thing they're doing on social media. They're running away. Like, I'm not about to buy no. You know what I'm saying? They're not in position to buy a home. But if you educate people on the process of how to buy a home, now they're going to lock in with you and understand your content and actually feel comfortable because you're answering questions that they have in their head, but they're scared to ask. 3rd reason why is because you're trying to get everything pretty. Veteran real estate agents, all real estate agents I've worked with in the past, they always want to be makeup down. They want to be cute. They want to do this and that. Like, yo, just put out the content. Social media is filled with a bunch of craziness going on. Like, people don't be looking at the things that you're worried about on yourself. So if you try to wait and try to do the perfect day, the perfect content, the perfect video, the perfect everything, just put out the content. People don't care about how you look if you putting out content. They want the education. They're not looking at who you are and the things that you don't like about yourself. They're not worrying about that. They're worrying about help. They want to buy a home. You think if somebody sells you something that you really, really like, you looking at anything. Let's say, for instance, you go in the store and you're buying a TV, a big screen TV that you dreamed about or wanted for a long period of time. You don't care who the person is at the register. You don't. You just buy the TV and go on about your business. It's the same thing as far as on social media when you're creating content. Create the educational content so that you can attract the buyers that have the money and are going to work on the actual process behind the scenes while you're putting out the content. They're working on these things that you're telling them to work on. So when it's time for them to buy a home, they will contact you. So don't try to be too pretty. Don't worry about the makeup. Don't worry about this and that. Just come presentable, put out the information, and move on to the next video, because you want to keep making videos over and over for 90 days. Just make it a lifestyle, because you don't want to sell a home. You signed up to be a real estate agent. So make sure that you creating the content and distributing it onto social media and getting out a message to the veterans. The number 2 reason why you're not getting veteran home buyers is because you don't post enough. You probably sit back and post 2 weeks straight and be like, man, this thing don't work. Of course it doesn't work. And let me tell you why it doesn't work within the 2 weeks. Because before you started creating educational content for that 2 weeks, you probably were just sharing memes. You probably liking like all kind of stuff on social media that has nothing to do with buying a home or has nothing to do with real estate. That's the type of audience you're going to attract. So say, for instance, you're out there liking all these memes and all these funny, doing the Nicki Minaj challenge, and also doing just following crazy people on social media that is just funny. You see what I'm saying? Now that you train your algorithm to bring you those type of people. That's what you're going to be surrounded with. A lot of drama. Whatever you look at on social media, you're going to surround your algorithm around that. So once you start creating content for a long period of time, make sure you're not still commenting on crazy stuff. Comment with your real estate colleagues. Put homes on your actual timeline. Talk about those homes. Talk about different educational things. Mix up your content, but make sure you bring it back to real estate, not to be doing all the extra crazy stuff. If you want to do the extra crazy stuff, create another account. This is going to be your business account. This is where you're going to make your money at. So you want to take it serious. The more that you train the algorithm on how to act as far as the audience you're looking for, the algorithm is going to bring you your audience. But if you're doing these crazy stuff, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, stay tuned for number 1, because number 1 is the easiest thing that you could do, but it's overlooked by most real estate agents. The number 1 reason why you're not getting veteran home buyers is because you're not saying veterans in your videos. This is very hard for the real estate agents that serve veterans to understand. I know that you maybe serve different people, single moms, you may serve these families, you may serve a lot of different people, but the algorithm attracts one audience. So that's why you have to niche down to one audience, because the algorithm is going to feed that one audience you talk about. That's how the algorithm works. You cannot talk to the algorithm with 5 and 10 different audience. It doesn't work like that. So you have to niche down. That's why everybody that you hear telling you to niche down and you thinking it's such a bad thing, you want to niche down because the algorithm is one niche you want to focus on. Then once you start focusing on veterans, let's say you focus on veterans for 90 days, the algorithm is going to push that content straight to veterans every time you post. Straight to veterans every time you post. It's trickling into different veterans every time you post, and it becomes a compound reaction to where you just focusing on veterans. Like the algorithm is focused on veterans. And over time, you're going to start getting those veteran clients coming in, those veteran buyers coming in. And that's how the algorithm works. So that's why you want to niche down to one specific audience, because the algorithm focuses on one specific audience. And once you do that for a long period of time, you will be guaranteed to get veterans to buy homes from you from social media. Like, it's going to be a beautiful thing. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope these top 5 things you fix in your social media marketing so you can start selling homes from your phone. That's the goal. That's what I live by. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to this video so it can get out to more real estate agents, and make sure that y'all can grow, because that's what it's all about, building a relationship and growing. So yeah. Hope y'all like this video, and let me know what the biggest takeaway in this video for you. And check out this video in the meantime. I'm out. Cheers.